Good evening. Happy Alive. Sorry, I forgot my selfie stick in my car, and I currently don't have my car. So we're balanced on plates right now, so I apologize if it falls. I can't believe that it is Easter next weekend and April next weekend is crazy. I hope you guys are all well and have enjoyed this warmer weather lately that we've experienced. It's supposed to get a little bit colder again, so hopefully you have enjoyed. I've seen lots of people in shorts and stuff, so that is always fun and exciting that spring is coming. I'm going to do my normal, which is answer your guys' questions and go over some real estate updates as well as do any Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you don't feel comfortable, you can message in here and I will answer them privately, or I will answer them next week. Okay, hope you guys are well. I'm going to start with a question. So Brandy from Snow Valley. Hi, Scotty. Brandy from Snow Valley said, I hate my kitchen cupboard handles, but there's really nothing wrong with them, and they're just not my style. If I spent $1,000 on them, for example, would I recoup it when I sell? Can't read properly. So thank you, Brandy, for asking. To be honest, just to say, for example, these cupboards, I don't like the handles either. But to say if you get your $1,000, it's such a minuscule thing. Like for people to say like, oh, well, I get $1,000 for that. It's hard to pinpoint that. I could say if you asked me like, hey, if I redid my kitchen, would I get the money back? But to say specifically for your handles, when there's going to be multiple buyers and one might give you 700, for example, one might give you 725. They're not giving you 25,000 because of your handles. So to say what specifically it is, it's hard to say. So I would just do it if you want to for your own use. But it's kind of unknown if you're going to specifically get it back. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but thank you for asking. So I do, like I mentioned, happy news and real estate stuff. So I do question and answer throughout first and happy news, and then I do real estate in the middle, okay? So the first thing I was saying is about like dogs. So basically, a lot of people during the pandemic have wanted to get a dog, and it's been hard to get, a puppy. But a lot of people are not taking dogs that are elderly or that have a disability of some sort. So there's a teenage boy, and basically he has motor skill issues and speech issues. So his sister taught him how to sew, and he's been making little bow ties for the elderly dogs and the disabled dogs and handing them out to shelters. So far he's given them to over 600 shelters, and he wants them to go to every single shelter throughout North America. That is his goal, and he also wants to eventually branch into making them sweaters and little vests. And then once he's an adult and grown up, he would like to have like a foster facility for these dogs. So I thought that was cute. Again, just young kids, and before they're, adults, just either giving back or what have you. So he decided to do that with sewing for dogs. So that was cute. The next question comes from Michelle and Stainer. So Michelle said, I'm confused with commission, land transfer tax, bully offers, bridging mortgages, and porting them. Could you give me a short rundown on it all, please? Yes, I can, Michelle. Thank you for asking. So for commission, buyers don't pay commission, sellers pay commission. So the sellers pay both sides. The buyers pay the land transfer tax. There is a $4,000 credit unless you make too much money that goes to the buyers. So if you spend $3,500, like your land transfer tax is $3,500, you don't get the extra $500. They'll just give you the $3,500. But if you spend $5,000, you're still responsible for that extra $1,000. What else did you ask? Bully offers. So bully offers are the same as preemptive offers. So if a home is listed, oh, sorry, somebody's calling me. Sorry, I pressed decline. If a home is listed, say, for example, on a Wednesday and they're looking at offers on Sunday, a bully or a preemptive offer means that you're offering before Sunday. And the only way to ever get that bully or preemptive offer accepted is if you're really strong. So it looks really good. It's listed for $499. You're offering them $625 or $640 or something. It's not listed for $499 and you're like, hey, here's my bully offer of $480 or $515. It's not going to fly. And again, bully and preemptive are basically the same. And what else did you ask? Bridging mortgages and porting mortgages. So bridging is if you buy another property, you've sold your house firm, and let's just say you close on the one house July 1st. but your house doesn't close till August 1st. You don't have the funds yet to close July 1st. So you have to have a firm agreement of purchase and sale, and then you can bridge mortgage. So the bank will be like, okay, we know your home is sold, so we'll give you the money ahead of time so you can move into your house a month early and do fix-ups and cleaning and painting, etc. And the other thing you asked was porting. So porting means, let's just say you live at 123 Main Street and you want to move to 157 Main Street. Porting means you can bring your mortgage over there. So let's just say you're locked in at a really low interest rate and now the interest rates have skyrocketed. You want to keep your mortgage, so you port it over there. So not all mortgages are portable, only some mortgages are portable. So it's basically all in your fine print when you sign up for the mortgage. Most people don't read that, to be honest, but it is all in there. So just ask if your mortgage is portable. And if it's not portable, ask what the penalty is. So sometimes people's penalty is 3 months interest. Sometimes people's penalty is quite high. So if you can't port your mortgage over to a different address, find out what the penalty is. Okay. Thank you for asking. Hopefully I answered all of those for you, Michelle. So what would you do in order to keep your kids out of trouble? There is a pigeon that just flew onto my deck and they've been driving me crazy all day because they're pooping on my pillows, and I just saw one land. So he gets to sit there while I do this live. So what would you do to keep your kids out of trouble? So one lady gave her kidney, and she's actually from Ontario, because sometimes these stories are from the States or Europe or what have you. So she's from Ontario. It's between London and Owen Sound, and it's called Seaforth. I've never heard of it, but a little town, I'm assuming. And basically, both of her sons did a lot of hockey when they were younger. They're now in the NHL. And the guy that used to manage the arena that would let her boys in early to practice and stay late to let them practice needed a kidney because he had a disease called Berger's or something. And I guess it takes away the function of your kidneys, and eventually he was going to pass if he didn't get a new kidney. So she signed up to see if she was a match, and she was. So she said it was the least that she could do after everything he did for her boys. So I thought that was super cute. And I might have one thing before I do real estate, I forget. Yes. So not real estate, the mortgage reminder. So on the 1st of every month, so next week is April 1st, and we'll be knocking on somebody's door and giving them $2,500 towards their mortgage or their rent. So if you know of anybody that you want to win, just send a video like this or a written submission if you're more shy to info@crippshomes.com. Again, info@crippshomes.com, and tell us who you are and who they are and why you think they should win. It could just be like a neighbor. It could be somebody that helps you with your kids. It could be somebody at your work that you really like, or somebody at the bank, or somebody at the grocery store, or your doctor, whoever. There's no criteria except they have to live in Simcoe County and they have to be over the age of 18. And again, we'll knock on somebody's door and surprise them on April 1st. I'm just really hoping they don't think it's April Fool's joke, because obviously we do it every month, but obviously April Fool's is kind of known for jokes. So hopefully they know that it's serious. Next question comes from Crystal in Victoria Harbor. So Crystal says, how can I bring my house up to date without spending a fortune? Thank you, Crystal, for asking. Hi, Marky. How are you? I don't know what specifically. Darn pigeons. Another one just landed. I don't know specifically what's out of date on your home, but let's just say it's flooring. You know, you could always do a cheaper laminate. Like, don't do like a 7mm. It's really thin and it doesn't look the greatest. But you could maybe update laminate. Let's just say you have like a shag carpet or something. And a super easy way is to, change your counters. Let's just say your counters in your bathroom or your kitchen are pink or green or blue or purple or something. You could easily do counters. As well, like knobs are easy to change. Same with backsplashes. Please don't do the sticker backsplashes. They're like $16 to $20 a freaking thing, and people don't like them. Just get real actual tiles. They're way cheaper and people like them better and they look nicer. Please do not get sticker backsplashes. Same with paint. Let's just say your rooms are quite dated with colors. You can always freshen it up. That doesn't cost that much. And even vanities, like they go on sale, and you can get like a vanity. It comes with a top, it comes with a tap, it comes with a mirror and everything. And depending obviously on the size, it could be $2.99, it could be $8.99, etc. It's not that bad to update your bathroom. And same with if you have linoleum tiles, you could do ceramic tiles. And the pigeons are like looking at me. taunting me that they're pooping over there. I hope all's well, Margie. Okay, what is my other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, so one more thing before real estate. So obviously with like older buildings, sometimes people tear them down and they build like new apartments or new condos or what have you. But they do things differently in England. So unfortunately, some investors and developers will accidentally ruin a building that somebody wouldn't let them buy or what have you. So they accidentally ruined a building, and it was a pub, and it was built in the 1920s, and it was like the only thing that withstood a bunch of bombings from World War II. So they accidentally tore off the side of the building, and then basically it gets condemned by the city because you can't just have it all exposed. And then their hopes are that the business goes under and then they can buy it for cheaper, which is really bad karma. But anyways, after 6 years of this back and forth with lawyers and so forth, the city of London said, okay, 1, we're not going to let you do apartments there. 2, you're going to have to rebuild that wall brick by brick. And then 3, they also designated it a historical building. So they can't, do anything crazy in the future to it, that it has to remain restored and they can't build close to it, etc. And then they gave them huge fines. So that was really good because obviously, not a lot of people can fight the developers. They often have multi-millions of dollars and sometimes even billions. So that was a nice story that the pub is going to reopen in April after so many years of it not being open. So now I'm doing real estate, okay? If you guys, again, have any questions, feel free to write them. And if you want to get rid of the pigeons on my balcony, feel free to, I don't know what you could throw at them, water balloons, or that's mean, I don't know, something. Okay, so for real estate, as you know, we've had lack of inventory for a long time. I'll say what's happened in the last week and 2 in Simcoe County. But with the lack of inventory, some people are saying, well, why don't we just tax people that don't live in their properties? So they only use them for 6 months a year or 1 month a year, or they're just investors, but they're not to say whatever, but a lot of them are from China and they just buy them, but they leave them vacant. So they're saying instead of building all these new properties with which the contractors can't keep up on, and obviously the price of building supplies has gone up, why don't we just tax these people? So they are contemplating that. It's not 100% yet. But basically they're saying it'll either make them say, okay, fine, we'll rent it out because we don't want to pay this tax, or they'll say, screw you, and they'll sell it. So they're thinking either way that should give more inventory. Hi, Mark with a K. How are you? Pigeon is your spirit animal? I want it to be a seagull for one day after I go and like poop on people I didn't like, and then be a dolphin. But hi, Mark. Hope you're amazing. So because of all of that and the 1%, so basically they're saying that over 340,000 properties in Ontario are used less than 6 months a year. So they think if they bring that 1% tax, that it'll bring over $1.2 billion a year. And then they're hoping that then they could use that $1.2 billion to go towards affordable housing programs and so forth. They did something like that similar in Vancouver, and over 15% less homes were unoccupied, so they eventually rented them out. And 163, which is not a lot, but still 163 of those properties said, I'm not paying the tax, but I'll rent it out. So it gave more possibilities for renters, and then also a bunch of people, either sold their property or paid the tax, and again, got them $38 million for Vancouver. So that was really good. This is not real estate related. Hi, Morgan. How are you? Morgan won when I forget in January, I think. He's super awesome dude, and so happy that he's in Barrie, because lots of times I read about awesome people and they're not in Canada or Ontario. So Morgan's a super cool dude, young man in Barrie, going after his dreams. So again, this is not like statistics and whatever real estate wise, but if you want to live in a house for free, there's a $1.7 million house in Millerville, which is an hour and a half east of Banff in Alberta. And basically there is an elderly lady there, and she needs like a stair lift. She needs like those grab bars or whatever. And she doesn't want to ruin her home by putting those there, because she feels like it's devaluing it and it's such a lovely home. So she decided instead to get it appraised, and then to give it away. But so it was appraised at $1.7 million. So what she's doing is doing a contest. So if you write why you want to live in her home, she will give it to somebody. And you have to give $25 to apply. Okay. And if she makes more than $1.7 million off of the contest, she's going to give it to a women's shelter in Alberta. So that was kind of cool. So if you guys want to have a $1.7 million free home in Alberta, outside of Banff, you just have to say why you think you would love to live in her home, and she's going to give it to somebody that pays only $25. So that's pretty cool. I am well, Morgan. Thank you so much. Always well. Have to look at the bright side and the bigger picture, regardless of what little things might be going on, right? So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So with all of like the constant records being broken every week and the low interest rates and the lack of inventory, there's lots of buyers, obviously. So there's tons of bidding wars, and that is great if you're a seller, but frustrating if you're a buyer. So certain companies are doing things to help out buyers. So CMHC, which is a Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, they're trying to promote people buying multiplexes. So 5 units, 6 units, 7 units, etc. So instead of putting 20 or 25% down like they would normally have to put down, now they're saying you only have to put 15% down. Of course, if you qualify, you can't make $10 a year and qualify. But 15% down, and they're doing 40-year mortgages. So for a while, back in the day, they were doing 30-year mortgages. Then they took it down to 25 only, and now they're doing 40 again to help people out. So that is cool. There's just a lot of people obviously getting out of, say, stock market and so forth, and getting into real estate. I don't recognize that picture. Sometimes it tells me the names, but right now it doesn't. I just see a picture of somebody who just came on. So sorry, I don't recognize you, but hope all's well. So what is changing in cottage country is originally with the pandemic, tons of people were buying cottages up north in Muskoka, in Halliburton, in Parry Sound, etc., Gravenhurst, etc. Gravenhurst is Muskoka, but you know what I'm saying, Severn, Washago. But now they're not just buying cottages, now they're buying year-round homes. So in Halliburton, for example, they just broke a record that a home not on the water sold for over $1 million, because normally they're known to have waterfront homes sell at that price, right? Not non-waterfront. But a lot of people with the pandemic are like, hey, can I get internet? Okay, I can work there. Then they're moving up there and making it their permanent residence. So that's something that's changed from the pandemic. Originally, it was just people looking for cottages, and now it is people actually moving up there full time, which is neat to see. Another place that's booming, but obviously not locally, is Phoenix, Arizona. And so with people getting like their vaccines and so forth, a lot of people are feeling more comfortable to go places, and a lot of the baby boomers and so forth don't want to spend another winter in the cold. So Phoenix has been really popular. There's already over 25,000 Canadians that own there, and their average sales price is over 500, not over 500, is just around 500,000. It teeters around 500,000. So it is cheaper than Canada's average sales price. So a lot of people are going there, and it's the pigeons. So another thing that people ask us is about rentals and so forth. So one thing that why CMHC is kind of like helping is because not many people are wanting to get into long-term rentals, because with the system being backlogged with, let's just say they haven't paid their rent or not being able to evict, sometimes it takes 9 months, etc. 23% of owners in February actually left their units vacant, as opposed to trying to rent them out, because they said it was better for them to just leave it vacant than to get somebody in there that might be in there for so long and not pay. So a lot of them are changing it to short-term rental if they have the possibility to do so, if they can get the tenants out, okay? And then capital gains. Some people have been talking about it. So in 2019 and in 2020, they talked about capital gains for your primary residence. And Trudeau said, no, I'm not going to do it. But then there's been other talks of how is he going to get all the money back? There's 12 pigeons on my balcony right now. How is he going to get the money back from all of this relief fund that he's doing? And a lot of people saying just by upping taxes or something like this. So he's saying it's not going to happen, but yet there's been other things that have come out about it. So what has been in talks is if after the first year you sell your property, you have to give 50% pay in taxes. Second year, 25%. The third year, 15%. Fourth year, 10%. And fifth year, 5%. So that is in talks. It has not happened yet, and I hope it doesn't happen. And frickin' pigeons are having a heyday over there, a party. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I always switch around what I do for statistic wise. So 2 weeks ago, in 2021, obviously, and in 2020. So the amount of new listings in 2021 was 404, and the same week in 2020 was 358. So there was 12% more listings, 12.8% to be exact. And then I'll say this year first. So this year, 336 of those 404 listings sold, and last year 201 of those 358 listings sold. So 67.2% more homes sold. So that is amazing. Over 60% more homes sold, 67 to be exact. And last year the average sales price was 252. I'm dating myself. 525 and being slightly dyslexic. 525 and change, and this year the average sales price was 754. So 525 the exact same week last week, and 754 and change this year, same week. So it's over 43% higher. Just to give you an example, 2019 compared to 2020. In 2019 to 2020, it only went up 3.3% the exact same week, okay? And then last week, so again, that was 2 weeks ago. So last week in 2021, obviously there was 411 new listings. The same week in 2020, there was 309. So that was up 33% more new listings. And of those 411 that listed last week, 281 sold. And the year before, 171 sold. So 64.3% more homes sold, which is great. And last year, the average sales price was $533, and this year it was $747 and change. So the average sales price is up over 40%. And compared to last year and this year, it only went up. So last week, from 2019 to 2020, it went up 8.8%, as opposed to this year's 40.1%. Okay, so that is amazing. Next question comes from Jacqueline in Severn. So Jacqueline said, I would love to get my real estate license, but not sure how the process works. Can you fill me in, please? Jacqueline, I can't fully fill you in because I've had mine for so long and it's changed quite a bit. So I know recently it switched over to Seneca, so it's a college program. And like back when I did it, you could do online or in school, or you could just ask for a book to be sent to you. And now it's like through the school. You can still do some stuff at home, but there's still in-school portion. To be honest, I don't know how it works with COVID, because the last person that got it on my team got it before COVID, because sometimes administrators of mine end up moving into a sales role. So none of them have done it since COVID has started, so that I'm not sure about. And when I did it, you had to do 3 levels, and one level had 2 parts, so really it was like 4 levels. And then within 2 years, you had to do 3 more courses. And now you have to do 2 of those 3 courses before you get your license. And then within the 2 years, you just have to do the 1 course. So that is my understanding to it. And that's how my last admin did it. But COVID, I'm not sure. But hopefully that helps a little bit. But thank you for asking. Do you guys remember the movie Patch Adams? It had Robin Williams in it, and he was that doctor who dressed like a clown. So Patch Adams is actually a real person, and he is a doctor, and he's been practicing for over 50 years, and he had some odd viral infection, and he had some surgeries, and eventually he had to get his leg amputated. And instead of thinking like, okay, I'm going to retire and this is it for me or whatever, he was like, okay, I'm going to do new magic tricks. I'm going to do this and that with the kids. He's still practicing physician. And now he just says, instead of Patch Adams, he's going to go by Stumpy. And I just like his outlook. So he's not like, why me? Why did this happen? Whatever. He's like, how many people can I help? How many people can I make smile? Because there's a lot of people that are in worse positions than him. So he just likes to make people smile and help them, obviously, in the medical field. So I love that. So yay for Patch Adams, or Stumpy, whatever he wants to be called now. But I'm glad he is well and better. So the next question comes from Jeff and Barry. So Jeff said, sure, it's great to sell in this market, but when the hell do we buy when everything's so crazy? I totally hear you, Jeff, and you're not alone in your frustrations. So some people are moving north, right? So they move north. it's, less taxes usually if you're in a city center, depending obviously which city center you're in. Some people are moving like out east. They're moving just quite far north, or they're renting, or we had somebody today that says they just are going to travel as soon as COVID's done. They're going to like buy a trailer and kind of drive around North America and South America, etc. Whereas other people are like, okay, I bought my house for $400,000. I put 5% down, so I have 20 grand. Now I just sold it for 800, so I have all that equity plus that original, and then they're buying another home with that, not necessarily putting it all down. Sometimes they're putting part into that home and part into a cottage, or paying off, student debt or car payments or what have you, or helping out a family member, etc. Or some people, you don't have to, like, there's multiple different boards, which I won't get into in Ontario, but sometimes agents aren't advertising it on all the boards, so you can still get in there in a home that, if it was advertised on all the boards, might be $599, might sell $750 or $775. If it's just on one board, for example, it might be $599 and sell $640. Yes, it's still sold over asking, but you're getting it for cheaper than if it was on all the boards, okay? So there's still ways to backdoor it. Of course, if you have all your financing in order and all of that, and you can do it firm, that makes a lot more sense and is more appealing to the sellers, as well as if you have a large deposit. If you're trying to, outbid somebody or what have you, and you have a small deposit, it's not going to go very well, okay? But thank you for asking. Oh yeah. Maybe you guys took CPR when you were a kid. I took it when I wanted to be a babysitter, or when I was going to be a babysitter. I don't know how old I was, 12 or 13 or something. But there was 2 teenage girls in Florida, and they took it through their high school, and the very next day they were driving with 2 friends, and they were T-boned on a road. And basically 3 of them got out of the car, but the one girl didn't. She had hit her head, and she was unconscious. So even though they had just done the CPR the day before, the one girl started to do compressions on her chest and did these 2 long breaths or whatever. She came back, to her consciousness. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying. She regained consciousness, and shortly after the paramedics got there. But I just like that because, to be honest, I've never used CPR since I took it, and knock on the table, I don't have to use it ever. But I just thought it was neat that they literally just learned it, and then she saved her best friend's life. And they always say BFF, best friends forever, and now she saved her life. So I thought that was super cute, the 2 16-year-olds in Florida. So the next question is from Greg in Oro. He said, for your $2,500 giveaway, can I nominate myself? To be honest, Greg, we ask normally that it's somebody else because we like to pay it forward. So if you nominate somebody that you feel is deserving, or you feel like they're in need, or what have you, we like that better. But if you do nominate yourself, we'll still read it and look at it and consider it. But we do prefer, to be honest, that you're paying it forward to somebody in the community that you think could deserve it, and so forth. I can't see if that's Vivian, but it's hard to tell by the little circle. But so yeah, you can nominate yourself if you want, but we prefer if you nominate somebody else through info@crippshomes.com. Just send us a video or a written submission of who you are and who you would like to win and why. Again, preferably not yourself. And you could just think of somebody in your community that might be deserving, would be amazing. Hi, Yolanda. How are you? Hope all's amazing. Hope you're safe and well, healthy, and enjoying a beautiful day. So the next thing I was going to say is just to be thankful wherever you are and whenever you can. Sometimes people monetarily can say thank you. Sometimes it's just with a smile. Sometimes it's with something organized. So there was a person, where were they? In, I think it was Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. And basically with UPS drivers and Pure Later drivers and so forth, this fellow was, sometimes stuff's not coming in on time. Hi, Melanie, how are you? I don't know why it's not showing the names. I have to look at the little bubbles. But people were giving, certain people slack and anger that their parcel's not coming on time and what have you. So this one lady liked this fellow because basically if something came that was from Santa, he would leave a note and say, I'll bring it back later so your kids are asleep. Or if you have to sign off on it, instead of it, being shipped back or what have you, he'd take it to the sister's house because he knew it might be important. So she just thought he was always going above and beyond. So she started a fundraiser for him and got him $1,000. And then she organized it with his work. So he would go to pick up a package, supposedly to deliver something. And instead, the whole community that kind of lived in that little cul-de-sac was all there. They all had balloons and thank you signs. And then they had a big, huge card that had the $1,000 in it for him. So I just like when people say thank you to people, we're all in it together, and, to have each other's back, and, just be appreciative for everybody's hard work and sticking together in the pandemic. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will be doing, I don't know what lives I have this weekend, but thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys stay safe. You go after your dreams. You don't let anybody put a ceiling to your dreams and tell you that you're not deserving, or that you're not smart enough, or you're not this or that. And I hope you don't put those limitations on yourself either. I hope you guys are all safe and well, and have a great night.